Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, hello.
Welcome to Friday. Jay, where's Bob?
Bob is ET. His ETA is NFI. No effing idea. Let me call him.
I'm Bob
NFI.
today.
Jay, did you see the Falcon 9 launch today?
I did.
Did you watch it live?
It was awesome. No, I didn't catch it live, but I did watch it back.
Yeah. It was picture perfect. It's like routine now. Like it was just perfect. You know?
I think Bob just joined.
Oh, he did? Okay. I don't even get nervous anymore. Bob.
Hey, what's up?
This guy.
Yeah. What's going on?
Not much.
Late, damn traffic.
Yeah.
I just talking about the Falcon 9
There's something
launch
on your
today.
neck.
Don't give him attention. Don't.
Yeah,
even.
don't. Just ignore the whole thing.
Oh, never mind.
The new bit here was that it was a joint venture with Axiom. This is the AX-1 mission. So this was the first time that basically it was not a NASA mission. The first time people were launched into orbit, on U.S. soil, and it wasn't a NASA mission.
Yep.
In fact, it wasn't. The mission control wasn't at NASA. It was at Axiom Control Center.
That was a real moment for me, like knowing that this is now happening in the private sector.
Yeah.
And without a hitch, man. It was a beautiful launch. I love that we get a camera in space now. Like, we're looking at the engine. That is such a cool thing. So it's history. As much as, a lot of people might not be that excited about it. It's a historical moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, of all the historical moments. I don't know if you watched the SpaceX documentary that's out now on Netflix.
No, does it go into their past?
Yeah, it goes from the beginning through to the Dragon 2 mission, the first time they actually launched people into orbit.
What'd you learn?
I think we followed it closely enough. Not much, but so there were lots of obviously. I mean, you forget how tenuous it was at first. Like the first 3 rockets blew up. There was a very real probability that SpaceX did not make it. But Musk stuck it out, doubled down, and everything obviously all worked out in the end. And it's NASA's decision to essentially offload low Earth orbit to private industry was very controversial at the time. There's a lot of pushback. Again, NASA now is very happy that this is, so this was a milestone in terms of that decision by NASA, because this is, one more step. Now we have, this was a private mission, two private industries working together. Mission control was handled by Axiom. And they sent up four. Oh, the other thing is there were 4 astronauts that they were all civilians, right?
Mm-hmm.
So none of them working for NASA. One is an ex-NASA astronaut. The other 3 are not. But one of them is a military pilot. The other one is a commercial pilot. So,
what do you call a person that's not like a real astronaut that goes into space? Isn't there
an astronaut?
Are they? So there isn't a qualification to be called an astronaut.
Well, I think there wasn't that a debate that they were having.
Yeah.
What do they call them?
Passenger, Jay.
Yeah, passenger
or crew.
Holster not.
They should come up with a cool word. It'll be novel for a little while.
They were
say that you've been in low Earth orbit.
Around.
That's a huge deal.
But they're going to spend 10 days in space, 8 days on the ISS doing scientific experiments. Each of the 4 people paid personally $55 million to go up there.
Wow.
How many?
Wow.
How many are there?
4.
Can you imagine? No, that's an astronaut.
I like it.
Could you imagine having $55 million as disposable cash? Just as disposable, because they're not spending their last nickel.
Yeah. But Axiom is the company that wants to put it to replace the ISS. So 2024, they plan on launching their Axiom habitat module, which will attach to the ISS. But then in 2028, will detach and become its own space station, and then they're going to build up off of that.
Yeah. So the Axiom, this is the company that we talked about that wants to have like a viewing chamber where you go down into this chamber and basically the whole thing is glass.
Yeah.
So you're
maximum radiation exposure.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's what I was going to say. I wonder if they'd have you wear a suit when you go in there, but I don't know. I don't know if I could, handle that. Think about it.
I think you don't know until you get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Bob, let's face it. When I had
having your entire life,
I had the VR headset on, and I was walking a virtual plank in Steve's office, and it was so real to me that I couldn't do it. So,
they also have VR space station, experiences where you're basically you are just hovering above the Earth, and you absolutely get the heebie-jeebies, when you're doing that. You got to talk yourself down a little bit.
Damn lizard brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's served us well, right? It keeps you out of a lot of danger. Bob, you've had that particular back hugger for at least 20 years.
Yeah. This baby's getting up there. He's still in great shape, and you can't buy him anymore. You can't buy this dude. I forget where I got him, but I've never seen him for sale again. So this house is on fire. This is the 3rd thing I'm going to grab.
So is he grabbing your back, Bob, or is he grabbing you, or are you carrying him? That's the question.
I'm carrying him like a backpack, but you just slide in, and then you can put your arm over this arm, and it's like a.
Do you ever sleep with that on?
No.
You thought about it.
I only did that once. It's meant to be an instant costume. It's like, boop, got it. I'm all set. And, it's could do far worse. One year at the haunt, I had my zombie costume on, and then I put him on. So I thought that was an interesting combination. But
somebody said that if they went into the Axiom viewing situation, that they'd be vomiting themselves into unconsciousness.
Mm-hmm.
I think I agree with that. I mean, you gotta imagine. First, you're weightless.
Yeah.
Which is strange.
Well, that's free fall, man. That goes away. I mean, at least in my experience and from what I've read from jumping out of a plane, your stomach feels like whoa, but then
Yeah.
that kind of goes away after like 10 seconds. It doesn't really last, in general for most people. But I'm sure I still got to feel pretty damn weird.
Yeah, but then you're floating essentially in outer space at that point.
Mm-hmm.
That's there's not a lot of people that can do that with with class. Like that's got to be a terrifying experience for most people. Right? I mean, Steve, I think you could probably do it.
I mean, I think mentally I could do it. Physically, it's hard to say. I get very motion sick.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd be interested to see what the physical effects are. I mean, first you're at 3.5 G, and then you go from 3.5 G to 0 G.
Yeah.
Pretty much instantly. That
Yeah, that's serious business, man.
I might puke at that point.
Bob, do you think that you could do it? You think you could do it and not be freaked out?
Well, yeah, I think so. I mean, I do notice that it's a little harder for me to go on like any ride at an amusement park if it's exceptionally like crazy. It's not like I was 20 years ago. I would go on anything. I noticed that it's a little hard. It's harder to do the crazy rides.
Yeah.
But I'd go on any roller coaster.
But you don't think you'd be afraid?
I mean,
you wouldn't get scared?
No. Well, in orbit around the Earth, I mean, it's pretty safe. It's not as safe as a roller coaster. I'll give you that. So that might creep in, but it's like that's the old axiom of the amusement park industry, right? Fear minus death equals fun.
Sure.
So I could always calm myself down when I say to myself, this is safe as hell. Even when I jumped out of a plane, I'm like, all right, the guy I'm attached to has jumped out of the plane 2,300 times.
Yeah.
Did he survive all?
And he survived all of them. So
but
when I realized that, when I internalized that, that's when I calmed down enough to jump out of the plane.
But seeing the Earth hovering below you, you know what I mean? Like you're seeing the Earth in a way that you can't comprehend right now.
Yeah, I mean, it would be freaky, and I can't anticipate my entire reaction. But I would not hesitate. Would not hesitate to do it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, your odds are pretty good. I mean, SpaceX has 0 deaths so far.
That's true.
Dragon capsule. Not a lot of data points, but
the land, the retro rocket landing that happened today, that was the 5th time that craft had been involved in a launch.
That specific craft.
Yes.
Yeah, and the Dragon capsule was the 3rd time it launched.
Yep. I mean, talk about a game changer. I mean, even NASA's new equipment can't do this.
Yeah.
They're one shots. It's a total game changer. And these launches are happening so fast now, and as the price continues to come down, we're going to probably, I wonder what it'll be like in like 10 years. Will there be like multiple launches a day? Would we ever get to that in a decade?
Would there be a reason for that many launches?
I don't know. Industry, you never know. Industry might, we're going to have people on the moon. In 10 years, we could have a significant base on the moon. Yeah, you got a good angle of them, Bob. It's good.
Yeah. I like it.
So I was wondering what happens with the Falcon 2nd stage, because it looks like it's in an orbital trajectory, right?
Yeah.
Because
doesn't it deorbit itself?
Yeah, but I was reading that it's actually suborbital. I guess when it detaches, it pushes the Dragon capsule forward, and it gets slowed down just enough. And after a single orbit, it deorbits.
Yeah, but does it survive?
No, I don't think so. I think it's the non-reusable part.
Oh, okay.
of the launch, right? Because you think it's putting the Dragon capsule into orbit and detaches, so it's got to be pretty close to being in an orbital trajectory, right? It's going fast enough.
So right now, did the crew get to the space station yet?
5:30 in the morning.
Okay, so they've got quite a ways to go.
Yeah, they're napping.
Now let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
You're in a capsule. It's pretty tight in there. I mean, it's much better than the previous versions of capsules, but you're in a tight capsule. You're in a weightless environment, and then they're like, "Okay, guys, take a nap." I mean, there is just no way I would be able to take a nap in that circumstance.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I mean, how physically exhausting is it to launch in a rocket? What time was it today when it launched? 9 a.m., Steve?
11:15.
Oh, it was 11:15. So, if they were acclimated to Florida's time, why would they need to nap at 5:16 or 5 p.m. say? Why would they need to take a nap?
Yeah. But then again, weightless, then maybe they'll get the best nap they've had in a long time.
You never know. You're right. That has got to be, oh God, could you imagine? If you spent $55 million, you really want to be there. Those people must be so excited. I didn't get to see any of the any of their interactivity with each other. I wonder what they were saying to each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean they have a camera in the cabin, but they're not doing much.
Yeah,
just chilling. So the Dragon capsule was going just about 20,000 kilometers per hour when it was in orbit. 20,000 kilometers per hour.
Oh my God.
So I still wonder, what is the feasibility of a real space plane? So imagine you have a hypersonic jet that takes off from the ground like a jet, accelerates to as fast as it can go.
Mm-hmm.
How much faster would it need to go in order to get into orbit? So Mach 10, let's just say, just to make the math easy, Mach 10 would be 1,234 times 10, so 12,340 kilometers per hour.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so 12,000, it'd have to get up to 20,000.
Yeah.
So
that's a huge speed
difference. It's still a huge delta V, absolutely. But so could you have a rocket engine on a space plane that could get it the rest of the way?
I mean, I don't see why not.
I mean, that's about equivalent to what the second stage does.
Yeah. But
even
then
more. I think the first stage only got up to 8,000 kilometers per hour. And then the second stage, which is obviously a lot smaller, but you don't need all the fuel and it's out of the atmosphere and everything, gets it the rest of the way. It should seem feasible.
Steve, do they, when you talk about a space plane, are you talking about something that has a much bigger area for people to be in, right? We're not talking about 4 people size capsule. We're talking
whatever.
No, a space plane typically has the definition of having multiple engines so that you could breathe air and air or nowhere. So you would like a scramjet, you need to switch between conventional jet to jets that can work in the upper atmosphere or even low Earth orbit, right? Because space planes, the idea is to take off from an airport and then go into low Earth orbit and then be able to come down. That's the dream right there.
Now, isn't that? But shouldn't we not call them a space plane and at this point just call them space ships, right?
No, space plane is specific to me. It's a subset.
It's got to distinguish it because a spaceship, like the Dragon capsule, is a spaceship. I think the idea is you're trying to avoid that massive rocket first stage, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And because a jet is using air as a propellant, you don't have to carry all the propellant with you. So you just need the fuel to get the to get up to whatever the hypersonic speed. I know, Bob, we were reading the hypersonic jets like this with the scramjet or whatever they're using, they were talking like crazy speeds, like 16, like Mach 16, right?
Yeah.
So what would that be? Let me
wait, but not Mach 16 in the atmosphere, right?
Well, you got to get pretty high, but yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, the atmosphere would be very thin at that point.
So that's 19,740. That's orbital velocity right there.
Yep. Yeah. So it's using its aerodynamics.
Yeah.
To get through until a certain altitude when there isn't enough, air density for it to have that much of an effect. Then the second engine takes over.
Right.
That gets it into, I guess, fully into outer space, which means zero atmosphere. And then would it have a third engine?
For what?
It could. Could it go from like jet to scramjet to pure rocket?
Mm-hmm.
At some point, it needs pure rocket. Once you're above the atmosphere, you're not breathing air anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So we need 3 engines. It would need a regular jet engine to get off the ground, to get up to the minimum speed that the scramjet requires. Then it would have a hypersonic jet to get it up to Mach whatever, something in the teens, hopefully. And then you're almost there. That takes you to the top of the atmosphere, whatever, however, the top of its envelope, like as high as it can go.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a rocket that doesn't require external air with its own propellant, etc., to get it the rest of the way, which isn't much. Again, it would be much less than the second stage of a Falcon 9.
Yeah. Somebody said, Steve, no such thing as zero atmosphere.
I know the atmosphere doesn't go to zero, but there's a long tail, but it's practically zero.
Meaning that if you're in outer space, you could consider that not zero atmospheres?
There isn't zero atmosphere. It's just like really, really thin. It just gets thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner.
Okay.
Right? There's no wall where there's like zero atmosphere.
Yeah, there's even people say that space starts at various altitudes, and you can make a good argument for lots of different altitudes where
there's no sharp demarcation. But basically it becomes negligible, right? The atmosphere becomes negligible at some point where there wouldn't be any drag.
But we don't call outer space an environment that has a zero atmosphere. There's enough particulate or something bouncing around that we would, right? Is that's what that means?
I mean, it's like saying microgravity. Is it really zero gravity? No, because there's stuff around you, but it's microgravity.
I got it.
It's like micro atmosphere, or it's like they say airless, but it's close enough. It's like it's negligible atmosphere.
So small that it doesn't have
the moon has an atmosphere, right? The moon has an atmosphere, but it's negligible. It's negligible.
Right. And so Jay, what you can think of it as if the atmosphere does not cause any drag and cannot be used to breathe, for any type of breathing engine, then you basically say it's outer space and there's essentially no air. Especially if there's no drag, then and there's so little that it's like.
But even things that are in low Earth orbit, if they're low enough, there's drag.
Oh,
they
absolutely.
Will slow down over years and deorbit.
Absolutely.
You got to be in the upper low Earth orbit before the drag is so insignificant it won't affect your orbit for years. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. You think about like a craft that is in that right zone where it's hitting thousands of air molecules that are just slowly taking energy away from it.
Yeah, but it's going fast. Remember, again, it's going at 20,000 kilometers an hour, so that even the wispiest of atmospheres will provide a cumulative drag.
Yeah. So, guys, tonight don't forget. Last week we said that we were going to test some custom software that is quizzing software. So Ian, when do you think, like, you have to actually turn it on and there's a little bit of a startup here, right?
Yeah, a little bit, just a minor little bing, bang, bing. So we could do the other quiz early if you guys want to, or we have some other videos we could show.
Yeah, let's do that.
Getting that.
I just want to get everybody ready though. Like, we could say we'll do it in like 15 minutes or 20 minutes or something like that.
Yeah. And just a note, everybody, you got to go to YouTube to actually vote. It only works with YouTube right now. Eventually we're planning out multi-chat systems, but right now. you want to head over there
Yeah.
prematurely. Okay, so
Start
we got
queuing
a
that up
couple
for us, if you don't mind.
videos that
What?
Jace. Yeah, well, I'll play some of these videos while you guys can discuss. There's currently nothing on the screen, but you will see something in a moment. Here we go.
Oh my God.
Bob, you sent me this.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I mean,
This happened
breaking up.
over India, correct, Bob?
I don't know. I don't remember, but it was just magnificent.
I wonder how much matter there is there to make that kind of a show.
That could be a little rock. You know,
Yeah, it could be pretty small.
Yeah,
most meteors are grains of sand. Yeah.
So this could be, 10 times that, 100 times that, and still very, very little. But I'd get a little nervous because it'd be like, well, is that deceptively big? Is that going to, be, bad?
Yeah.
I mean, what would one that could hit the ground and become, a meteorite? What would that,
Yeah, what would it look like? I saw a picture of the world's largest meteorite, and it's iron, and it's big. It's like a quarter the size of a school bus, say.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder what that looked like. That thing,
yeah,
that thing must have been, unbelievably bright.
So, what are the best meteorites you've ever seen in your life? I've seen a few.
Yeah.
So when I was a teenager, I saw one that was just the biggest one I've seen in my life. Like it flew straight overhead and like filled the sky. Like it was massive, massive. And then last summer, remember we were camping out?
Yep. Do you remember that one?
But I don't know who. I forget who saw it. But I was looking up. I saw one. It's the only one I can remember that did this. That had a decidedly non-linear course.
Oh wow!
It was It must have been like an oddly shaped, and it was tumbling. But it was like really, like the pathway was really crazy. Must have been like significantly tumbling.
So you saw that, Steve?
Yeah.
That must have been really cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, Steve, I remember when we were camping out, I looked up and we saw one go straight across the sky, but it left a trail like I've never seen. Like kind of like it split the sky. I mean, it was a trail that persisted for seconds, and it was like it covered most of the sky.
That was a good night.
I had never quite seen anything like that, and I have seen before one that split in two.
I've seen that too.
That's like a baby version of the one we just saw. That was very cool.
That tumbling one was really bizarre, but it was cool. Totally cool.
Wouldn't you love to find a meteorite? Oh God, that would be so damn awesome.
One that's made of solid platinum. Yeah, absolutely.
Remember, I heard the story by somebody who shall not be named. He was with his girlfriend, and they were like on top of his car or whatever, and he was trying to convince her, come on, let's lay down and look for some shooting stars. She's like, no, I don't want to do that. We're not going to see anything. So he was like, come on, let's do it. So they lay down, they look up, and 1 second later, he said that they saw a shooting star that split into like 3 or 4 pieces. And she was like, oh my God, does this happen all the time when you look up? And so that story stuck with me.
That's cool. That's
like, only when you're naked though. Someone asked if we saw a UFO. I did when I was 17, 18. It was, lights, like several lights hovering in formation. And I could not, for the life of me, figure out what it was by looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know what it was until the next day, based on an article in the newspaper. It was like several people in ultralights flying in formation.
Yeah.
Like deliberately to provoke UFO sightings.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yep. I've seen that, and I've seen sky lanterns.
Yeah.
That very cool. Like they got above the tree line and then they accelerated incredibly. And of course, they were much closer than I thought. So they looked like they were far away, and they looked like they were moving insanely fast. And then all of a sudden it clicked, and I'm like, oh, no. These are sky candles.
Close and small, not far and big.
Yeah.
Somebody called Subliminal Vibes just said that they saw a full-on meteor shower, hundreds of shooting stars. Now, do you mean hundreds per what? Per minute? How many? I'm curious how many that was, like per second. If you had to give me a number per second. because hundreds that could be a meteor storm, not even a shower, but a storm.
I would love to see that.
That like in what was it, late 1800s? There was a big one, and it was like literally hundreds and hundreds per minute, or even more, like every second. I mean, I think it was like over 100 per second. That was like the stars were like falling. That's something that I would love to see.
Yeah, but then you go blind.
Yeah, and then the triffids come out.
Yeah. Yeah, be careful.
Ian, can you show us something else?
Yes, I certainly can, but I need that thing that just happened to the thing.
Oh, that was me. Let me give that to you. Yep.
Yeah.
I will put that where you need it.
Well, don't say it like that, but okay. Here we go. And next video.
This is awesome.
Yeah, audio, but I don't actually hear audio.
Supposedly, that's a real Boston Dynamics.
It looked like it.
I mean, it's got to be modeled after it, but I don't think it's.
Go it again. Let's take a look.
AR.
We'll research it real quick. Look how human the arm movements are, though. You know, it's really interesting.
I think it's CG.
Yeah, it's AR or something. It's cool though.
It is cool.
Look it up?
I don't know.
Let's see if somebody finds it.
Did you look it up? It was on Reddit, so it must be true.
Look, it was on the internet, so yeah.
Steve, so Subliminal Vibe said that it was hundreds per second for about a minute. That, I mean, that's a full-on storm. Dude, you're so lucky. So lucky. That's rare as hell.
That is less than a once in a lifetime view.
Oh my God.
So I have to go fiddle around with my dough real quick. Because my son asked me this morning, very matter-of-factly, if I could make him a loaf of bread, and I can't say no. You know, it's like if he said, "Daddy, would you make me meatballs?" It would be the same answer. I'd be like, "Of course, I'll get that done for you." Do you guys want me to? They don't want to see it.
To deliver bread to our house? Yeah, sure.
Well, I was planning on bringing some tomorrow because we're all getting together tomorrow.
Good.
They
go good with your meatballs.
Do you want me to make meatballs tomorrow?
Could do that.
I'll do it.
Chad,
I'm getting my second
to make
booster tomorrow.
Oh, I wanted to talk to you about this, Steve.
Yeah.
So somebody in the chat confirmed some information that I've been hearing, that people have been getting knocked out from their second booster. Like, getting really sick really quickly and getting super lethargic. What do you think there?
I mean, Jocelyn had her second booster and it was nothing. So that's not a universal reaction. I don't see why it would be any different than previous boosters. So
yeah,
I'll let you know.
Maybe it's a little random. Tomorrow. Maybe it's a little random, sometimes it'll hit you differently.
I mean, so my first booster, I was out for 2 days. It wiped me out. So I was hoping it wouldn't be that bad.
Jay, bring meatballs.
Dan in the chat said, "Sounds like Jay is always waiting for somebody to ask him to make meatballs." It's very similar to for me waiting for people to ask me for a hug, because I will instantly give upon request. But yes, I will typically, if somebody makes a firm request for me to cook for them or to make meatballs, and the bread, to me, I love doing it so much that I mean anything can tip me into making a loaf of bread now. All right, so we have a couple of things coming up tonight. We do have a couple more videos. Then we're going to do the quiz, and then we'll do the test that you guys are going to help us with that software. And I'll thank you ahead of time, guys. Thank you for helping us test that, because we need to load test it to see if it's going to work well. I'm 100% sure it's going to be fine.
100%.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Right, Ian?
Yep. Yeah, totally.
Feeling good?
It'll be fine. Yeah, I'm feeling good.
Somebody had a swollen arm for a couple of days getting the booster. Wow, 100-degree fever
for a couple of days.
Greg Dorius, right?
Hey, watch your mouth.
Sorry about mispronouncing your last name, Greg. Had over 100-degree fever for a few hours. That's pretty high.
Mm.
What will kill you, Steve? 108?
I mean, 108 would probably cause some brain damage.
Yeah.
You know, we get worried at 103. 104.
Oh, okay.
I had
And that-
104.
Yeah.
Were you hallucinating?
Yeah, I was hallucinating.
Were you hallucinating that you weren't hot?
No. I don't remember too much, but it was kind of cool.
Bob.
I hate that feeling.
We don't recommend that. We don't. SGU does
Ian,
not
can you
recommend
show it?
getting a fever.
Yes, don't go looking for a fever. Let's see something else over here.
Unless you want Saturday night fever. Here we go. So, Jay, what are we looking at?
This guy keeps popping up on Reddit.
Yeah, this is too interesting to not show you guys. This is a monk who is over 100 years old, Bob. And I have just never in my wildest dreams could think that a human being could actually look like this and be alive, to the point where I'm not 100% sure this is real.
Yeah.
So you didn't vet these before?
No, he
showed
just-
No, I think it's fun for the audience to see
This
it.
is for the chat.
Decide for yourselves.
You have to no.
Yeah.
You have to figure it out, chat. Tell us if we're wrong.
Charlie says he looks so
Do
healthy
your own
and
research,
vibrant.
chat.
And I'm like, I look at that guy and I'm like, he looks exactly like a Halloween costume.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When I first saw him, I thought for sure that was a prop until he started moving.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to put my chips down and say it's real.
Think so?
He's on TikTok, somebody says.
The guy's got his own TikTok. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Well, I assume
And here he is. I'm
Yeah, there he
reading.
his handlers have a TikTok. Yeah, I don't know.
Now I need to know if it's real or not.
I know, right, Steve?
know, you gotta look it
up.
Somebody said he's recovering from the vaccine. You shut it. You
Yeah.
shut up.
I know, right?
That's gonna stick. Now we're gonna hear that out in the wild. Yay.
Somebody asked a good question. Hey, SGU, how did you feel regarding Leonardo DiCaprio's character in Don't Look Up pronouncing nuclear? How do we feel about that? I completely understand why Leonardo DiCaprio has a hard time pronouncing that wrong. But that's me, because this is one of my major faults, is I pronounce everything wrong. So I wish that, just like in Back to the Future, the
gigawatts.
They really do need to do their research. There's about 1 million people out there that would read a script for free or watch some dailies and tell them that something went wrong. It's really a stupid mistake.
Isn't the etymology of that word though actually pronounced gigawatts, or has it always been gigawatts?
I think it's gigawatts.
It is gigawatts, but it's like, I feel like I read somewhere that it's somebody chat. Come on, I read it on the internet. 1.21 gigawatts.
That movie,
like
by
a
the way, is
parsec.
still awesome.
Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah.
It's one of the best movies.
It is basically flawless. Like, I couldn't comment on anything to make that movie better, even to this day. Like, it just, the pacing, everything. It's like somebody made that movie last week.
Oh, I'm thinking
It's apparently it's real. It's a 109-year-old guy.
Wow.
Doing
Just
pretty good.
thin.
That is amazing. That is just amazing, man. 109
epic.
years old. He might be, that guy right there might be the oldest person. What's the oldest now? It was 120, I think, is the max, right?
He's not the oldest. There's like
I don't think he's the oldest.
No, he might make it.
No, he might make it to be the oldest. I don't know. It's looking pretty thin there.
All right, I'm gonna go.
Imagine if Hallowed got a hand to him. Had a hand on him.
Yeah, right.
Hallowed from Super Steve, Super Powered. Imagine Hallowed from Super Powered getting healing him.
Oh yeah.
Well, de-aging him.
Yeah.
That's exactly. Oof.
I'm gonna go do my bread. Do you guys want the camera or not?
Now just do it quick and get back.
All right, I'll be right back.
Okay, we'll see you
Do
shortly.
we have any other videos, Ian? Well, Jay,
I have no more videos from Jay, unfortunately. Those were those 3. So now we have to just riff with the chat.
okay. Should we take a question while waiting for Jay?
Oh yeah, we could take some questions. So again, I'm taking those questions from Discord, but you can post them in the chat and they will potentially respond. So this is from Bobby. Is it possible that subatomic particles in our universe contain much smaller universes and that our entire universe exists within a subatomic particle of a much larger universe ad infinitum?
Yeah, I mean that's one of
Is
those
it-
classic unfalsifiable notions. Like, how would you test it?
Right.
You know, if you could think of a way to test it, then then come talk to me.
I mean, I would say no for a subatomic particle. I would say no. I would think that its mass, its behavior, its the different characteristics that we could observe would give us a clue about that. So I would say no about a subatomic particle, but a black hole. I think that would be more likely to have something freaky happening about it. Still, probably no in my estimation, but it'd be more likely for a black hole to be that that bizarre.
All right, Bob, do you see this? Evan just emailed this to us. So apparently, a physicist measured the weight of the W boson.
Boson, yeah. So
and
the
it's
weight's
more
a little bit out of whack.
It's more massive than it's supposed to be, and this could be the first thing that seriously breaks the standard model of physics.
Yeah, I was considering talking about that Wednesday. I mean, there's been observations previously that had its mass at the level that they're reporting here. So it's not like this is the first time they've ever seen this, but it is twice as accurate as any other measurement. And so the standard model, doesn't really predict that exact mass as far as I can tell. I mean, I just did a quick read, didn't take a deep dive. So yeah, it's a little bit encouraging, and it could potentially, hopefully, point to tweaks to the standard model. But tweaking the standard model is one thing, but pointing to brand new physics is something else. So I'm just so jaded about that shit at this point.
Yeah.
But I mean, clearly the standard model is not everything because it doesn't predict a lot of things. Like, for example, dark matter. It definitely needs. It's not the be all end all. Can't be.
But what if the anti-universe is correct and that explains dark matter? Does that rescue the standard model then?
Does it rescue? I mean, rescue. What do you mean by rescue? I mean, the standard model is fine. It's great in its specific.
You're saying the rescue. The standard model doesn't tell us what dark matter is,
right?
So maybe it doesn't have to.
Yeah, I mean, could you add this if the anti-universe pans out, and CPT is true, and when you apply it to the entire universe itself, yeah, that'd be great. I mean, I think it would be like added to the standard model, or would they rebrand it? I don't know, but I think you could just make it like an extension.
Standard model plus.
Yeah, the new standard model, maybe. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's every time we see these things all the time. It's like the neutrinos going faster than light. I bet you that's not going to pan out that way.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, just based on first principles.
Isn't plugged in. Yeah, that was especially embarrassing, but that's self-corrective nature of science. That other people looked at it and figured out what the problem was with that anyway. Mm-hmm. But
bad cable.
Yeah, they must have been so embarrassed. But hey, shit happens.
Right.
They weren't trying to scam us.
I like the
oh, God.
Just one more thing about the breaking physics thing. Like multiple times, people have published papers saying that they've identified something going faster than the speed of light, and it turns out that they were being deceived by like the movement of a wave. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
if you had lights lighting up in sequence, that apparent motion could look faster than the speed of light, but nothing is moving faster than the speed of light.
Right. So, you could do it yourself. Take a flashlight and shine a powerful flashlight and shine it at distant objects, like whatever. I don't know how far you'd have to be, and spin around really fast. That light, that point of light that you could see going around could potentially be going faster than the speed of light. I mean, that's and you can get tricked. You can get tricked in if you're observing astronomical phenomena, you can get tricked into thinking that, wow, that thing must have been moving faster than the speed of light, but that's not the case, obviously.
Okay, so a couple more
what's next, Ian?
questions. How much of IQ is pseudoscience?
So, it depends on how you frame that question. So the IQ is measuring something, right? And it's measuring something meaningful. So to that extent, it is not pseudoscience. The numbers are, they're meaningful in that they predict something. They can be used as a marker for brain health or for disease processes. Like if somebody has Alzheimer's disease, their IQ will steadily decrease as the disease progresses. So, from that point of view, it's completely reasonable. It's completely meaningful. It's just not measuring general intelligence. It's not like the one measure that covers all aspects of intelligence. And depending on what specific test you're talking about, they can be biased. Some are culturally biased. And so, neuropsychologists use multiple different measures that, they're standardized. They've been, validated, tested. We have a history with them. And they don't interpret them beyond what they're measuring. Usually, like if I get these tests on my patients all the time, and they'll have like, they'll break it down, like this is their verbal IQ, versus their reasoning IQ, or they'll describe their ability, their visual spatial ability, whatever. They break it down into different specific measurable functions. But IQ itself is not like the one measure of some overall intelligence, and nor is it completely free of bias.
What are you talking about?
IQ.
Nothing.
Like that's BS?
No, I need to repeat my whole answer.
Well,
No, it's measuring something real. It's not total BS, but it's also not like anything. It's not perfectly.
Okay,
it's not perfect either. It's similar to BMI. We get asked about BMI a lot, and the body mass index. And BMI is real. It's measuring something real. It can be used in clinical studies as a marker, but it's not a perfect marker. It's not a perfect stand-in for other measures. It's just convenient, because you can easily calculate it. With just need to know people's height and weight, you can calculate their BMI. So it's like a lot of things in science. We do things because they're a reasonable approximation, or they're convenient, or they exist, they're accessible. It's the data you have, and you just need to know what the limitations of that are. But it doesn't mean that it's worthless or that it's pseudoscience. It only is if you don't understand it. Like any tool in science, don't use it if you don't understand it. Right?
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I thought it was more accurate in a sense than, say, like a personality test. Like so, But all right, do you guys want to get to the quiz and then we'll do our test?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's start revving up those engines.
Yeah, we're revving. So we're going to do our quiz first, right? The dark energy one first?
Yeah, we'll do the weekly quiz first.
Yeah, let's do the weekly quiz just to get everybody in the mood for quizzing, to be quizified. So everybody go to darkenergy.games as you normally would. And I forgot to actually start the quiz, but it will be there now. And somebody is
We need our
Windows-noising,
link.
like, yeah, sorry. Let me get that.
Thank you.
Is that you Windows-noising?
No, I'm assuming you're trying to do what I asked you to do, and it's not working.
No.
Is that what that noise is? No, okay, never mind.
No, it's not. It's one of us. Anyway, so we're gonna do the quiz. Just a second. We got some people filtering in. Again, darkenergy.games, and wait for us. Let's see. We got a question from Fra Paul, I think. I'm not sure how to pronounce your username, but have any of the rogues been watching Severance on Apple TV?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
How about you guys?
I haven't seen it yet.
It's an interesting idea. It's, the employees at a top secret company, there are departments that are severed, meaning that the employees have a chip implanted in their brain that segregates their memory from when they're working to when they're not working.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So like at some point they wake up at work with no autobiographical memory, right? They don't remember anything about their life or who they are or anything. And then at the end of their workday, they get into an elevator, which switches them to their other, their Audi, right? They have the innie and the Audi. And so from the perspective of the innie, the person who's at work, they get into the elevator, they get off the elevator, and it's the next day at work, right? They don't remember anything that happens when they're outside the office.
Okay.
And the person and the innie, like they're going to work and then they're leaving work, right? They have no memory of being at work. So that's the premise, which you learn like in the beginning of the first episode. So it's exploring the implications of that. And of course, there's a lot more going on.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that sounds freaking horrifying.
Yeah, that sounds horrifying, doesn't it?
So if you have an affair at work, you're not cheating.
Thank you,
I
Bob.
would say.
Thanks.
Well, apparently you're not, because you don't. If you have a marriage outside of that, you
don't even know.
Yeah.
Right.
You're basically two different people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just wouldn't want to be the person that's stuck going to work.
Yeah, because your whole is at work. That's your entire existence is at work.
Yeah, which would degrade your performance. That's not a good worker. Give me a break. But I'd be afraid the technology would mess up.
Mm-hmm.
Screwing with your memory? Sorry, I'd rather work in McDonald's.
Yeah. What about a harmless brain surgery?
Just one little snip, right? All right. Is there any other questions? Somebody asked how the dough went. It went fine. Everything's good. I got this thing under my thumb. Any other questions?
I don't think so. Right now, at least in Discord, there are a few leftovers, which we can save for a little bit. And let's get to the quiz in just a moment. So when I tell everybody to click, we're going to click that synchronize button. So stand by for that. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, click.
Okay.
All right. And go ahead.
Somebody asked about the baseball hat. It's actually a trucker hat. I am having the patch company send me a sample so I can vet that the patch is high quality. And then, there's multiple steps between right now and when the hats actually exist. So step 2 has been taken out of 10, but it's coming.
Yeah.
I should probably get that sample in about a week. I told you it wasn't going to be easy.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
But got to do it right. Steve, would you say that pasta is your favorite meal?
I think so, yeah.
How about you, Bob?
Oh, man. It's like, Jay, how could you ask me such a question? But so, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what to say to that.
Well, let's start with the basics. Do you enjoy eating pasta?
Jay.
Well, it's just a simple question.
It's magnificent. Jesus, of course. Pasta.
So is it in your top 5?
Yeah. Yes.
But what could be, give me a couple of examples of things that are lingering at that level in your head.
Josh brings up a good question. Plain pasta?
No, it has to
have. No, it has to have. Yeah. Well, doesn't that denote that the sauce is what makes it?
No.
Okay. No,
I mean, I like lots of different kinds of pasta, but the pasta is the common element there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great with sauce. It's great with, oil and garlic. It's great with butter and Parmesan cheese. It's different shapes. And then sometimes
it's versatile as hell.
The different shapes of pasta go better with different
Yeah.
typed in
Certainly.
different ways. Like, if you're going to have it with sauce, well, they all go good with sauce, but some pastas hold on to the sauce better than others.
Mhm.
Exactly. That's huge.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
anyway,
they have their
we'll
own
get
textures.
started.
Like as an example, you wouldn't want to make lasagna with rigatoni, right?
Yeah.
You have to make it with the flat
Well, that's
pasta.
baked seedy, basically, is what that is.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
So, Jay, so I would put like a pasta dish, for example, pasta, meat like rigatoni with meatballs
Mm-hmm.
and Parmesan and bread, good Italian bread.
Sure.
That would be on par with like drunken noodles, super spicy drunken noodles with chicken. Oh my God, those two. Throw in a good chicken tikka masala. So those three dishes, I can't.
But if you had to never eat one again for the rest of your life, which one could you? If you had to give up one of them, which would it be?
I know what my answer would be.
Give up 2 of them.
It would not be pasta. Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
No.
I might have to give up the chicken tikka masala.
I would give up drunken noodles over chicken tikka masala, though.
I don't even like drunken noodles, so I'm good with that.
No.
Look, Bob, I'm not going to argue with you about this. The drunken noodles go, and that's it. Let's move on, Ian.
Okay. I'll table that for later.
Yeah.
Okay, and away we go.
Yes.
How many noses does a slug have? Is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? The answer is not none, which I would have guessed.
At least we know that.
At least we know.
What purpose do slugs, what do they do?
What purpose do
why-
you do?
around.
Huh? What purpose are you here for?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Purpose, I'd say to reproduce.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Aha.
And the answer is,
Quattro.
I think everybody is 4. Also, everybody, if you're switching back and forth between the tabs, I think we've identified that as the latency issue. If it
is
mismatches with the stream, so
now,
don't do that.
are we seeing the 4 noses in that picture of a slug right there?
I tried to find some indication of what their noses even look like, and I couldn't, Steve.
Yeah.
Not in the time that I had before here. Oh, next question.
Oh, next question. What was the lifespan of a Tyrannosaurus Rex? 10 to 18 years, 20 to 30 years, 35 to 40 years, over 50 years. But we can rebuild him, make him stronger.
That would be one of the most epic mistakes humanity would ever make is bringing one of those back to life. Yes.
What if we just put him on an island?
Okay, then that's fine.
And then, like boats and we'll have flying ones too, obviously.
Of course, yeah. But they can't fly that far.
They can't fly.
Oh, man.
How far are they going to fly? Come on.
So the correct answer, Ian, is...
Damn it.
The correct answer is... I did close the browser. Okay, 28 years, technically. So 22 to 30 years.
Yep.
There you go.
That's
He's
a
so young.
long
No,
time
he's-
for a creature, a large creature,
He's just getting a sense of himself. What he wants
Jay,
to
I
do with
think you
his life.
confused life expectancy and lifespan, but that's okay.
Yeah, I did. But,
That's true. Which mammal lives the longest? Here we go. An elephant, a human, a rhinoceros, or a bowhead whale? Put them on Long Island? That's a good. Yeah.
that served two purposes at once.
That's excellent. That's perfect.
I think this one might have been a little easy.
Well, yeah, it's the specificity, I think, gave it away. The bowhead whale is 200 plus. Rhinoceros is 40. Human is about 80 on average, I guess. And elephant is negative 56. No, it's 56. But Jay put a minus sign instead of an equals.
I did. I didn't correct that because I was in a rush.
It's fine. How many legs does a lobster have? If you're eating lobster right now, don't look or count.
Lobster.
6, 8, 10, or 12.
Does it include their claws?
Consider
sure.
consider everything a
That's
limb at the
Yeah.
limb,
I guess
leg,
limb, leg. So that might be a hand. Yeah, well.
I mean, Why would you know the answer to this question? That's the question.
All these, I don't know. People could be eating lobster while they're watching the stream. I don't know
No, I knew
how they
the
live.
answer to that question
You did?
because
Okay.
they're
It isn't that crazy, actually. Yeah. And
decapods.
the answer is 10.
God damn it.
They have 8 walking legs and 2 large claws and 1 delicious butt.
Good job, Charlie.
Good job, Charlie.
Charlie.
Bit my finger.
You just can't come and go, can it?
It's just can't. Okay, next one. What do you call a group of giraffes? A bunch of ass. A tower, a sky, a ladder, or an oak? You call them a cab. I don't know. Get off my lawn.
Has anyone ever been killed by a giraffe?
probably
I would think the answer is
Have
yes.
you seen the giraffes fighting where they like slap their necks?
The neck
against each other?
slapping?
That-
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
You don't want that.
that would knock you across the Serengeti.
that would f you up absolutely.
And the answer is
And the answer is a tower, which I guess. makes
Bob,
sense.
can you please turn off the dinging?
yeah, Bob. You and your drunken
Really?
noodles.
I was always dinging and donging and. No, I shouldn't
Bob's
have said
ordering drunken noodles right now.
that. He
Steve.
is literally.
Okay, order's done.
I like how casually
Boo.
Bob wears that thing on his back. Like it's really not, doesn't care.
My buddy. My buddy.
All right, let's check this
Okay,
out.
Let's hit that end game or stop game. Excuse me. Here we go, Diego. Come on.
Okay, so we got a good spread here. Good job, Diego and Nora and Slugsy.
The only one I got
Oh,
wrong was
no.
the one Jay screwed up.
Good job, Charlie. Lots of 100.
Charlie.
All right, so we got a good spread here, though, which is exactly what I'm looking for. Let me get down to the questions here. So most people got it correct about how many noses a slug has, and 43.15% got that right. What is the
First
lifespan?
100.
What's that?
A couple people said first 100s.
What was the lifespan of a Tyrannosaurus Rex? Most people
Mhm.
got that correct. 45.13% guessed 22 to 30 years. Which mammal lives the longest? Nobody, and when I mean nobody picked a rhinoceros. I've never seen that before. Most
Yeah,
people,
super.
the vast majority, 62% picked the bowhead whale. How many legs does a lobster have? 45% guessed correctly at 10. And then we end with what do you call a group of giraffes? And 51% guessed correctly with the answer is a tower. So good job, guys. Did very good this week. I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you. Proud of you.
So now we're
So,
going to slip on over to the next quiz.
That's right.
And this is us testing software. So Ian, take it away.
All right. So we're going to be testing software for a chatbot that we've been developing. And when I say we, I mostly mean Pete, which I'm going to say shout outs to Pete. He's our dev god now. I'm the tech lord and he's the dev god in this situation. So we're just going to say thank you, Pete. And if it doesn't work, it's Pete's fault. And so I will send you his email.
Thank you, Pete.
So we're testing it for our BVZ property. If y'all are not familiar, we have a game show, generational game show, where we pit boomers and Gen X's and millennials and Zoomers together in a fun, fast. George can do it better. I'll leave it there.
Ian,
So
is this game even fun? I mean, let's cut
yes,
to the
it's
chase.
very fun. You
It
should
is fun?
watch it when
Okay.
we do it live again sometime soon. So yes, what you may have already started doing is you want to assign a generation to yourself. So if you're a boomer or a Zoomer or a millennial or Gen Xer, or if you want to pretend, go ahead and pick one of the categories or one of the generations you want to be in by typing an ! boomer. Remember, this only works on YouTube right now. However, we are developing it for both Twitch and Facebook. And
All right, so you have to be in
live.
YouTube and you have to be logged in.
So you have to be in YouTube and don't do the upside down, Robert. It doesn't work with the upside down exclamation.
All right, write down his name, please. We'll talk to
I
him
will
later.
ban immediately.
Ian, do we need to go into YouTube?
you can do it.
If you guys want to vote too, yeah, certainly you got to go into YouTube.
I'm definitely going to do it.
Yeah, and use different accounts.
What's the
if you
link?
wish. Yes. Let me text you, or I'll put in the secret, super secret chat that nobody knows exists. Wait, hold on. This and sorry, it was not prepared for that. Now I can't say anything. 1 second. Few seconds.
So Ian, can we
everybody's
see
still doing? Here you go.
The percentages of who picks what?
No, not yet. That is a thing that will happen. So what we need, Jay, actually is a question to ask the audience so that they can vote.
Okay, I'm gonna assign myself to a team. So I just typed in exclamation point boomer and that's it. So maybe should we give them an indication that they did it? I don't know.
The problem with that and the justification for why we didn't do that is because it eats into our API calls.
Okay.
And so if we responded to everybody, what we'll eventually do is probably put like a visual representation of either people, their name popping up briefly on the screen, or like a bar that'll show how many people are there, yada yada yada. So right now, if you want to keep on, everybody's assigning. Good. You won't get a ping back if you're already assigned. So once you're assigned, you're assigned. So let me take that down. So Jay, we need a question to ask the audience.
All right, and this is 4 answers here. Okay,
yeah,
ready?
multiple choice.
How do I sign into the thing?
You just go to the chat. If you're logged into logged into YouTube, Steve, that's all you need. You just need your YouTube account on so it knows who you are. Then you just type in, you designate what team you want to be on by typing in one of the 4 teams.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Somebody said Zoomers are on TikTok. Yes. And also there is some intelligent misspelling handling going on. It's not intelligent beyond what we thought people would misspell it as. Millennials technically have 2 N's, but that'll pick it up. If you just keep assigning yourself to the same thing, it'll just be the same generation. So it's fine.
Okay, so let's do this. So I'm going to ask you an easy question.
Yeah, and I will tell you all how to vote in just a second. Let me hide this, bada bing. So once you do that, everybody should be good. And if anybody was questioning what the age, or rather the year information for when you're a boomer, et cetera, I think it's 1980 to 96 or something is a millennial. 97 to 2012 is a Zoomer. I forget the specific. I should have this in my head. If you're a boomer, you know it. And a Gen Xer, if you feel, loathing and depression, you're probably a Gen Xer. There you go. Okay, we got this as what is the large? Okay. Should we ask that right away?
Yeah, do it. We'll just,
okay. So what we're going to see, here we go. So there's going to be 4 potential answers. You're going to do it with an exclamation point in front of it. The first question is, what is the largest planet in our solar system? So to answer, I'm just going to have to read it out because I don't have it written right now, but maybe actually I'll add it real quick. Do exclamation point A, exclamation point B, exclamation point C, exclamation point D to answer it. So the first one, A, is it Earth? B, is it Saturn? C, is it Jupiter? Or D, is it Pluto? And I'll add this. This is not how it's actually going to look on BVZ, but this is like just a testing platform. And remember, with the answer, you have to do exclamation point in front of it. So these are the potentials. Exclamation point A, Earth. Exclamation point B, Saturn. Exclamation point C, that thing. Oh my God, I forgot to hit start counting. Hold on. Just keep voting. It'll be fine. Okay, now we're counting officially. So just keep voting. There we go. If you voted already, vote again. There you go. So how this is broken up. The colors denote the generation, and pink, this fuchsia color, is all the boomers. Blue is the Gen Xers. Green is the millennials, and yellow is the Zoomers.
All right, so clearly we need to write down what the generation name is so that it's easy to understand what.
Well, yeah, this is not how it's going to be viewed and on BVZ. It's like this is just a testing purpose to see if it actually works with the API calls that we were doing. So like
Okay.
for example, I'll do like Boomer and I'll do like this. We're just doing this live, everybody. It's fine. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do it.
Ian, so why I'm seeing like 96.9% answered.
Right,
Boomer.
because we want to see how many what the difference is between A through D. So 96% of the boomers say it is the answer C, which is Jupiter. And then it says 97.1% of the Gen Xers say it is C. So everybody, I mean, most of the people in contention are suggesting that C is the answer, which I think most people are probably correct because I think that is the answer. But because there's only one Zoomer, 100% of the Zoomers, or however many Zoomers there are, 100% of the Zoomers think it's C. So they win because they are the highest percentage of the demographic. So you're all together on this. So you better vote correct or you better vote in the time allotted. How this would actually work is I wouldn't show you probably this until after it. Yeah, because otherwise it would influence your vote, whatever. So I would hit stop counting and then it would vote. So like maybe there's maybe something without a more definitive answer. You could do like what's your favorite food or something. Like what's your favorite pasta? Let's do something like that.
Well, I gave you the second question already.
Oh, you gave me the second question. Okay, we're gonna do the second question and then we'll get it. But I mean, right now, everybody, it is working, so I appreciate that. Oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna change. I gotta change that one, Jay. I'm not gonna do that one.
Why? They're all stupid. Who cares?
No, it's not.
You can change it. Fine.
I'm gonna do what? Okay, what is your? Oh, give me the pastas. What's your favorite pasta, Steve?
Gemelli.
Okay, that's Gemelli?
Something like that.
Something like that. Okay, I'm gonna put rigatoni because it's obviously the superior pasta. What's another one that's good?
Spaghetti, rigatoni,
fusilli.
Fusilli. Yeah, that's pretty good. Fusilli, bro. Okay, so I'm gonna stop and start this real quick. Hold on. Okay, so new question.
Okay.
There we go. But then you have to tell people when voting has started.
Okay, he did it in the chat. He said voting started for question 2. So I'm going to say I voted for my essay. So why am I seeing? Okay, so there's different percentages of answers per generation. Yeah, this gets confusing. Ian, we might want to just show like who and what the correct percentage is, right? So if the correct answer, which one is the correct answer, by the way?
What's wrong? What, you having a problem with this? This is pretty visually obvious.
Well, I'm not thinking of it for myself. I'm just thinking of it like for the general audience, like how quick of a scan this will be to understand what we're looking at. The question is, what is the best pasta? A, gemelli. B, rigatoni. Gemelli. A, gemelli. B, rigatoni. C, spaghetti. D, fusilli. Okay, let's see. It's easy to understand. J. Okay, thank you, Dino.
So it looks like there's one color for the quote-unquote correct answer, and all the 3 wrong answers are the same color.
Right.
But that does make it harder to see the percentages if they were each different.
Yeah. Now look at the boomer one, the pink one, Steve. So
yeah,
C and B were both answered at temporarily. They both were answered at the same percentage, so they both showed the darker color.
Oh, it's just the most common answer is one color.
Yeah. So after we see this, then Ian would have to reveal what the correct answer is, and then he'd have to show who won. And clearly, the Zoomers are winning because they have 100% again.
But what if they gave the wrong answer?
That's true, but I mean, I'm deeming their answer correct because I agree with them.
What, rigatoni? What are you, insane?
Yeah, I love rigatoni.
Yeah, rigs are great, but the best?
Yeah.
Nah, the pasta to sauce ratio is not optimal with rigs.
Which one do you want? Fusilli then?
Well, fusilli is best with sauce. I think gemelli is good with pretty much everything else. Butter and pasta or aglio olio.
Ian, how you feeling about this? Jay seems obsessed with winning. That is correct. Every single thing that I do all day is angling to be the winner of whatever I can possibly win. That is me. You nailed me. Let's see here. So this is another view that Ian is showing us now. Ian, I can't hear you. So apparently you have been silenced, but maybe a sharpshooter has gotten rid of you. And we still can't hear you. And as of this moment, we still yet cannot hear you. Okay, I'm sorry, guys, everybody. Oh, there he is. Okay. I was just about to apologize.
No wonder. I was trying to say that rigatoni puttanesca is obviously the superior pasta configuration.
And I agree with you, Ian.
Thank
All
you
right, so
very much.
Ian, is it working?
Yes, it's working. But I wanted to try this next thing, which is we need. This is who you're going to vote for. Who do you vote for? Jay, Steve,
or Ian?
Actually, A, B, or C. We'll go from top to bottom. So Steve, Jay, Bob, A, B, C. Exclamation point A, B, exclamation point B, exclamation point C. Does that make sense?
I'm gonna pick.
Who do
I'm
you
gonna
like?
pick Bob.
Who do you like? Which one do you like? I'll update it here. So it'll be Steve, Jay, Bob. Answer D for Fusilli.
Don't think that Bob and I didn't notice you didn't capitalize our names. We noticed.
Yeah, well, correct. Sorry. Oh, vote again.
Lots of A's in there.
Yeah, voted again. No, there's a couple B's. Keep voting. If you voted once, vote again because I needed it to restart.
All right, so half the people picked. All right, 63% now have picked Steve.
Well, now hold on. Notice the color. These are just the boomers have picked Steve. So there might be, I don't know.
Okay,
some sort of
that'll be
thing.
interesting.
That'll be interesting. Now let's look. What about the Gen Xers? The Gen Xers, different distribution, but still picking Steve currently. Okay. Bob's coming up in the rankings a little bit. Here we go.
He's creeping up.
Bob's creeping up. Okay, millennials. Steve is still winning. Steve is still winning.
You are very popular.
He's a fan favorite. Okay, and let's see what the Zoomers think. Let's see what the Zoomers think. Oh, Bob.
Steve's not even on the chart.
Steve's not even on the board. Get wrecked.
Okay, so
how many people voted?
2 people voted for Bob. Bob.
Essentially.
All right, Bob. So you and I combined for all the other generations can't even touch Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Steve is loved by all, and I'm clearly the least loved,
except Zoomers.
Look, the Zoomers like everybody.
All right, now we're all right. Everybody's equal here in Zoomerville. See, Zoomerville is nicer than the other towns.
That's true.
Oh, there we go.
Let me try.
All right, this is a great view, Ian. I like this view.
Well, this was the intent of the Quizmasters, like when they vote for the Quizmasters at the end. So it's a different layout than what we would do normally for stuff.
Could you put the Quizmasters' faces in the panel so you could see who they're voting for?
In the bar? What do you mean in the panel?
Yeah, like in the beginning, at the front of the bar. It would be cool if you could put their faces.
No, but the whole layout is going to be totally different because it's going to be like, you know how we have the panel of Quizmasters and they show up and then yada yada yada. I'll have you guys up and then the bar will be underneath you, so you won't need to see it.
So one person said Steve is a golden god, and another person said it is Steve's Vulcan nature that is so alluring.
Mhm.
That's true. Okay, so now let's look at this.
That's
So
what
this
people
is
tell
the
me.
overall. This is the combined of all of the different generations, and Steve has won it with 40% of the vote. So
All right.
very good, very good. So that does work, and then I hit stop counting, and it works.
All right, so Ian, I mean, listen, we have people here that are willing to help. Are you saying that they don't need to help us anymore?
No,
Are
we
you
need
feeling good?
we need all the help. We need all the help we can get, but for different reasons. Yeah, I think this is good. Shout outs to Pete for
Thank you,
an
Pete, very
epically
much, man.
Danke
Excellent,
schön.
excellent
dev
job,
work,
guys.
just super cool. And so
Thank you, Sharon.
we'll also
Sharon,
be
you and I, eye to eye, like this, me and you.
we'll probably be testing future iterations of counting when it comes to Twitch and Facebook integration and YouTube, and a app version, like a web app version. So that might be in a couple weeks. Or
Somebody said Steve is definitely the most Steve of the rogues. That is
Mhm.
so accurate.
Yeah, you know what?
I endeavor
I
to
worded
be
the question.
Steve.
I worded the question
Yeah.
poorly. Okay,
Charlie,
cool.
I agree with you. All right, this is good, guys. This was a big deal for us because now we know that how many people do we have? About 200, Ian?
370, but I forget how many are on YouTube. Let me see. Yeah,
That is awesome.
326 were on YouTube. So a lot of people were voting. I mean, it was good. Yeah, I don't have it
That's great.
so you can see the number of people who voted, but that was less of a in the scope than the percentages that we defined.
All right, so the software worked. My
cool.
feedback is basically like whatever our user interface is, like whatever the result interface is, it's got to be super easy to read. And
that's yeah. I mean, that's gonna be yeah. We'll figure that out. Probably put that like whichever the biggest percentage is or something like that. Yeah, okay, we'll figure that out when we actually integrate it into the BVZ system.
All right, guys, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate the help. I mean, we are going to be able to use this very soon.
Show. That's true, and actually, we'll be able to use this slightly different incarnation, but at the April 23rd show, which hopefully some of you are coming to, in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's April 23rd. We have a SGU private show at noon that day, which you can go to our webpage, go to skepticsguide.org/events, and you can see the link if you want to buy tickets for that if you happen to be in the area. And then that night, we're going to do 7 songs with George Hobb, and then we're going to do the live in-person version of Boomer versus Zoomer, which we are very excited about.
And we have a more political version of the game called Groomer versus Zoomer. You should check that out.
I thought it was Groomer versus Doomer.
Groomer versus Doomer. There you go.
There we go.
Ian, do you want to test the other version next week with the live stream on their phones?
That's yeah. Pete and I are discussing like about how much time he'll need to actually finish a lot of that stuff. But yeah, we probably will do that with the phone as that's next milestone. And then sometime after.
Jay, I won't be here next week, so you should get a replacement.
I will.
Yeah. We'll
Sharon, get on that.
Notice.
Sharon, we already have a guest lined up for next week.
George. Oh, we do.
Jay.
Yeah.
Jay, help.
Bob, he's going. He's
picking my nose.
He clearly knows where to dig.
Brains. Digging for brains.
Did you
Will
guys
the live one be streamed? Probably not.
No.
It's unlikely that
we're not going to stream it.
Yeah.
I'm videotaping it. I'm going to be recording the whole thing, and it may very well get up on the website. But this is our big test because we've never done it live before.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't want to live stream something that we haven't fully vetted.
Yeah, but you know what we will be streaming is our recording of AQ6.
That's right.
Oh,
so we recorded
which we
4
did.
episodes on Monday night, starting at around 7:30, and we live streamed the whole thing. Yeah, we'll be doing that once a month. Recording 3-4 episodes and streaming it, and then making it available in video and podcast format. So keep an eye out for that. But if you want to join us for the live stream version, where we chat in between episodes and we take questions from the live audience, etc. I'm sure a
was
link
anybody-
will magically appear in the chat.
It just did. Yeah, I don't know if you can see when I post, but yes, last AQ6 stream was great fun. Okay, Rhett, was there anybody else been there? Did we do Dune yet?
We're gonna do what we did when we did review Dune. We only did the well, there's only half of it done anyway. Yeah, we have a review for Dune. We do. When is the next one coming out, by the way, guys? You know, is it like a year or two?
Yeah, probably next year.
It's
I know
two-
it's in production.
I thought it was 2024. Maybe not.
Greenlit, maybe.
It might be 2
2024, that
years.
would suck.
It says 2023. Okay, you're right.
And you could go to Alpha Quadrant and the number6.com if you want to check out our past episodes. But yeah, so Ian, can they see the link to the live stream on the website, or are you going to throw that up there?
No, and actually, I don't think we saved it on Twitch just because we wanted people to go to YouTube after the fact. So it's like if you're available to be there, then show up. But if you're not, then you're not. You can get out of here.
Okay, so I am in the middle of post-producing those episodes right now, and Spider-Man, our movie review of Spider-Man will be coming out on Tuesday.
Mhm.
So that'll be cool.
Spider-Man: No Way Home.
No Way Home, yeah, the latest one, the
Yeah.
one that you could stream from home right now, but that is also in some theaters.
Yes.
Theaters.
We have time for one more question.
We do. All right. One more question.
What's the story behind the name Alpha Quadrant 6? Seems like there should be only 4
There you go.
quadrants. There is an answer to this question.
There is an answer to this question. So we spent a long time going through lots of different names for the review show, and it started out as a review of an episode by episode review of Star Trek Discovery. We later morphed into just science fiction review show. We live in the Alpha Quadrant, and Alpha Quadrant was taken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I thought it was a great name, but some asshole scooped up Alpha Quadrant before we did. So but we still like it, and it wasn't really being used. It wasn't like it was a famous show or anything. It just was taken on the web. So we said, well, this is the 6th Star Trek series, so we'll make it Alpha Quadrant 6, and there you go.
That was it.
And it sounds all right. It sounds good.
No, I like it. I think it's good.
AQ6.
The number gives it a sci-fi feel, you know,
Yeah.
like the number in the name.
Exactly.
Cool.
Plus AQ6 is a nice initialism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, guys,
That was
the seventh Star Trek series is coming out next month, and oh my god, the more I hear about this, I can't wait. It's going to be
Yeah,
great.
we're definitely going to review that when it comes out. Strange New Worlds.
Woo. Samuel Walker wants to know, he needs a sci-fi movie to watch.
Old or new?
Yeah, Samuel, you got to give us an idea, like something brand new or something from the way back. Let's see. Give him a second here.
What are we watching?
Lawnmower Man.
I enjoyed the Adam Project on Netflix. Check it
Yeah,
out.
the Adam Project was okay. It was good. Worse things to do over an evening.
I just love what's his name.
Yeah, he's good. Good old what's his name?
Well, yeah, we didn't count Picard, and Picard didn't exist when we made.
Yeah,
that
it didn't
movie.
exist when we did it.
So Picard, I think, is 7.
Yeah, Picard is 7. Lower Decks, if you want to count that, would be 8.
As you should.
And
What about
Strange
Prodigy?
New Worlds would be 9. What?
Prodigy?
Prodigy? What is that?
Star Trek? Is it Star Trek Prodigy?
What is that?
All right, he wants to do old. I mean,
Animated, but got a little Star Wars vibe to it, but definitely Star Trek universe.
yeah, somebody recommended The Thing. I know it's not like, pure science fiction, but it is. If you haven't seen that movie, you got to see
That's a classic. You got to see the
Or
thing.
maybe one. Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
John Carpenter's thing.
Travesty.
I mean, my favorite science fiction movie is 2001: The Space Odyssey.
Gattaca is a great movie. If you haven't seen that one, definitely.
Okay.
That's right.
All right, Bob and Steve, I will see you both tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow.
10 a.m. And Ian, I will see you online on Sunday at 2 p.m.
That's right.
Jay, check out
Yeah.
WhatsApp. I'm suggesting you bring meatballs tomorrow night and at the house we'll make the pasta. So meatballs and bread. That's what I'm throwing against the wall to see if that pasta sticks.
I'm gonna have to cook them at Mom's house, Bob.
Oh well, all right. I mean that's doable. You're going to be there early enough.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a good hour to make it happen.
Good hour.
All right, that's it, folks. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for helping us with the test. It really was important, and you guys came through. I really appreciate it. I'd like to thank Charlie because he's awesome, and I'd like to thank Sharon because she's awesome. That's what I got to say to everybody. Have a good weekend.
All right.
Goodbye, everyone. Thanks, Ian. Thanks, everyone.
And
Bye.
thank you,
Take
Ian.
Okay, bye-bye.
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 Baby said bye-bye in the
I
back.
know, I heard that. That was awesome.
You didn't hear it. No, you didn't.
Ian got
Goodbye.
distracted. Skeptics Guide to the Universe is produced by SGU Productions, dedicated to promoting science and critical thinking. For more information, visit us at theskepticsguide.org. Send your questions to info@theskepticsguide.org. And if you would like to support the show and all the work that we do, go to patreon.com/skepticsguide and consider becoming a patron and becoming part of the SGU community. Our listeners and supporters are what make SGU possible.
Oh.
What I'm doing is telling you don't say anything in the chat to give it
On
away.
the nose. On the
Somebody-
nose.
Somebody might be sitting at their desk.
Yeah. Shh. Very good.
Somebody might. So again thank you guys for the helping. It really is a big, de-stressor to know that the software works and we're doing very good. The software is doing good.
Yeah.
I mean, Ian and I didn't think it was even possible a month ago that we would have custom software. So
Well, you should have seen the the way I was running it before Pete got involved. It was super hacky. I'm a dev only by tinkering, but
you don't know the language. You were writing in a language you didn't know.
Well, I mean, I was writing in JavaScript, which I know enough, but TypeScript is the new one, and it's I had no idea what to do. So it's and plus Pete is an actual developer. I'm just a schmuck.
He's not just a developer; he's an expert. I mean, he's architecture.
Dev god. He's a dev god.
Yeah,
and we praise him for it.
Yeah. So awesome. the live version of that. So this was the live stream version that we tested today, but the actual in-person version, when we have the audience in front of us in 2 weeks, what's going to happen is everybody's going to pull out their phone. They're going to go to a web address, and then they're going to have 4 buttons on the screen that they could press to vote. Very cool. It's just going to be really cool to have the audience be involved in the show at that point. I mean, they're going to be influencing the actual outcome of the game, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, it'll be good once we get bigger font. Yeah, I know. Most of this was just I was literally working with Pete today for 4 or 5 hours. We were just on Discord talking about what to do. So it was last minute. And it won't be displayed like that. It'll be displayed differently. In fact, I'm not even sure we'll show the percentages until the end. Maybe they should just be hidden. I probably won't even show the wheel until I stop counting, just so it doesn't influence the votes.
Yeah.
But when it's people are voting for the 3 of you, it's kind of fun to see it moving around. The animation is kind of fun. But anyway, it's cool.
Me a question. Are the Arizona shows extravaganza only or a live show as well? I bought a ticket for both Phoenix and Tucson. Okay, so Bill, we will be scheduling 2 private shows, one in Phoenix and one in Tucson. That these are actually, I have to schedule these after we schedule the extravaganzas because we're using a company to help us schedule our extravaganzas because the locations that we do these, the theaters that we're doing these at, have to be vetted and everything. You know, it takes another person with a skill set to handle all of that, and it's quite a bit of work. So now that these dates are locked, I can, starting on Sunday, I will start locating venues to do those 2 private shows, and I typically just pick like a hotel, and I get a conference room in the hotel. I've been picking rooms that are about the 200 person size, just so there's plenty of room, just in case a lot of people want to come. I mean, in Denver, we had 200 people in a private podcast recording. It was awesome. But that's a lot of people. You know what I mean? We're psyched. I can't wait. The whole Arizona thing is amazing. Ian, I don't know if I told you this, but the 2 places that we're doing the extravaganzas at in Arizona, they're amazing venues. Like bigger venues than we've ever done. Yeah, they're so cool. So you should check those out if you're in the area. You should definitely come to those shows. I think our schedule is probably going to be like a private show on Friday night, extravaganza on Saturday, and then on Sunday we'll do a private show in the morning and extravaganza at night. That's the likely schedule.
Cool. So so look for that on the events page. We will also say it in the show probably. But yeah, cool. What else?
Ian, what are you doing this weekend? I'm curious.
What am I doing? Actually, I gotta go give the baby a bath. But I'm just visiting Famiglia. But also I'm 3D printing things, and they're taking days and days and days for the BVZ.
Ian has become our resident 3D printer expert, and we are printing actually pieces that are going to be part of the set for the Boomer versus Zoomer in-person game. Ian right now is printing a footer that goes in front of each podium, which is going to look amazing. But my God, what does it take? Like 4 days to print one of these things?
One face takes 2.5 days, and there's 4 faces. So yeah, it's crazy. How do you pick the cities for the extravaganza? Mostly the touring company.
Yeah, I mean, we talk to them. So what happens is my contact at our touring company, he and I talk about like where would be, like we start off with where would it be fun to go? Where do we want to go? We throw out a bunch of ideas: Chicago, Las Vegas, LA. We want to go to back into Georgia, anywhere. We could do these anywhere, but we typically like start with our top list, and then he'll go in and he'll poke around and see if he finds any theaters that are in the right spectrum, right? They have to be a certain type of theater that has, they have to be able to handle what we're doing, is essentially what I'm saying. We don't want something too big, of course, because those are expensive, even if you don't fill them. And then we narrow it down from there. So Arizona was a location that we picked years ago, but then, the pandemic happened. So we revisited Arizona, and by fortune, my contact found 2 venues that were available, that were both fantastic. So we jumped on that. Because what happens is they the venue actually makes a request of us. They'll get contacted. Ian, I didn't tell you this. One of the venues in Arizona actually reached out to the touring company.
Oh,
and
cool.
said, we want that show at our theater.
Oh, that's great. That's cool.
Which is the first time that's ever happened. It was fantastic.
People love us. MD Dawson, I have a ND version 2, which I modded a little bit with like a PEI plate, and some other upgrades to the nozzle and heating the thing and whatever extruder. I can't think of it right now. And then we have the SGU has a CR30, the conveyor belt one, which is why it takes forever to print some of these things. That's the only printer at my house, which I'm using.
It's the only printer that could do what, Ian?
Build a sword. I mean, print a sword,
right.
or print a something. Yeah, depending on your needs.
There's a couple of things going on in the chat right now that I have to address. One, Fred Bremer, my old friend. I would love to come back, not only to see you, but we would love to come back to Vancouver. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's plan it. I'll pick
Perth.
2 places in Canada that we'll come to.
Australia might be on the docket for another one down under.
And then Charlie wrote, "I want you inside me, Jay," and dash the theater. Yeah, that's exactly how it happened, Charlie. That is exactly. Thank you, my friend. We will. Yeah, I mean, if you guys have city locations that you think you'd like us to come to, feel free to email us at info@theskepticsguide.org, and I'll consider anything. I mean, Australia and New Zealand, it's going to happen again. We absolutely know that that's going to happen. As far as I'm concerned, we are absolutely going to go to Vancouver. That's we've been talking about that for years. I mean, I can't believe we've only done it once at this point. Yeah, so we could do that, Fred. Let's plan it. Let's get in touch, man. And I have to go deal with some bread.
Yes, I agree.
Remember about Livestream Club, guys. Nobody talks about Livestream Club in the open.
Shh. Or you get punched. I mean,
Ian will come to your
theoretically.
house,
No. Yes. Okay, goodbye, everybody.
All right. Great weekend, all. Ciao.
All right. My time. My stream time. Bye-bye. Okay, no. Bye-bye.